Hello. Do a quick update on what I've been messing around with in the shop. I was actually going to post something a few weeks ago on a pulley project I was trying to make, but I ran into some difficulties, and that's kind of on the sideline right now. So I was playing around with some other stuff. Might be interesting. So I have my Bridgeport that I got around Christmas time, and it came, luckily for me, with this VFD, variable frequency drive. And I had no experience with these. I'd never owned a piece of three-phase equipment before, so I've just been learning about them. This is a WEG Easy Drive CFW10. I was able to find documentation on the internet that's, I would have been lost without it. So I was able to quickly get it up and running right away in what's called local mode. I'm turning it on right now. And local mode is where you can use these switches right here and power it on and off, change the parameter settings, and then up or down the frequency that's going to the three-phase motor, and therefore control your speed, which is cool. But I don't think these buttons really are meant for a whole lot of use. I think you really, as soon as possible, want to get yourself to a situation where you're using the remote controls, which is what these wires down here are for. So that's what I accomplished last weekend. I'll move you around and show you that. Actually, I'll go ahead and do it that way. Okay, so here's what I accomplished this weekend. My buddy Zach had some of this stuff laying around that he sold me. I've got this is a potentiometer right here. Unfortunately, right now I have to use a screwdriver to operate it. And it's kind of an odd one. I looked around for a knob that would fit it, and it was cheaper just to order a new potentiometer. So I've got one of those on the way with a knob. It'll be fine later. Anyway, so for right now, I have start, which, because I just put this potentiometer down all the way to the bottom, it starts at the lowest frequency that I have set via the parameter settings, the absolute lowest, which I think is 3 hertz. So that spindle is barely turning right now. Now ramp it on up. So right now it's going at 60 hertz, which is what I have set as the highest parameter. You can overdrive them. I haven't messed with that yet. But I think the main thing for me about getting this done was not just to save the wear and tear on the unit over there, but also just to have this nice, emergency stop button. I think I feel a little safer having that going on right there. So that was a big improvement, I think, on my setup. There's a guy, if you watch, I don't know how you pronounce this, Shadon HK. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but it's, he's a pro. He's got some great videos. Took me a while to discover him. I just found his video the other night on these VFDs and the setups. I wish I had found his videos before I started messing with mine. I probably could have saved myself some hassle. He does not recommend this particular brand, this WEG, and what he says is he uses SV Vector or something like that. In any case, the brand that he recommends has an enclosure around not just the power, around all of the connections, the power and the control settings. So you don't have to protect your installation the way I have to protect mine. My setup right now is not permanent at all, and I'm eventually going to be moving the whole mill and everything back to the back wall. I'll move the VFD back there, and I'm going to have to build an enclosure for it because those wires are exposed, and the terminal strips are exposed. And I've already kind of had oh crap, that chip was like sitting right there about to cross those two you know, type situation where, yeah, it's not a good thing. I would go with the upgraded brand of VFD. But like I said, this came with the mill, so I can't complain. And I'm very lucky I got it because the fellow who sold me the mill, he thought the VFD was just some piece of junk. He had 3-phase in his shop, so he had this thing ready to go in the trash. And it's kind of the key to me to being able to use it, so I'm very glad to have it. All right, so this next project is, it's almost embarrassing how far down a rabbit hole I went on this one. But hey, whatever, I might make this useful at some point. This is obviously an Arbor press that somebody, not me, modified. They cut, this would have been the foot off of it, and it had a fork here, and it would have had an anvil down here that would rotate, and it would have the different shapes in it, just like the ones you can buy from Harbor Freight today, except this is an old American one, Dake, and this is a number 1, Dake number 1. So I'm a sucker for American stuff, old stuff. I just wish I had really seen what I was buying. This was all covered in grease and everything. I cleaned it up and I said, oh wow, this is really a kind of a mess. Anyway, but one thing about it was this was originally, whoever built this had it such that it must have been mounted out off of a workbench. The reason I say that is these bolts were, just regular hex head bolts out here protruding, which made it not want to sit flat on a table. And so I was like, all right, fine. I went and, I got myself a, what do you want to call it? The woodworker in me wants to call it a chamfering bit, but, to make the profile to fit a flathead screw bolt, basically. So I had that in hand, and then I went out to the hardware store innocently looking for nice big flathead versions of this same bolt, and was severely disappointed. The selection's getting lower and lower at the hardware stores, it seems like these days. So anyway, long story short, as I can make it, and I'm gonna have to get a wrench. Hang on. Long story short, I wound up actually machining those bolts down to have the profile. I'll go ahead and pull it out and show it to you. Like that. Is that in focus? Let me see. Can you see that? Anyway, so like I said, kind of embarrassing trying to rescue this old piece of junk. Went way far down the rabbit hole, and I don't really know what I've got, how useful I'm going to be able to make it. But that's what tends to happen when I come out here and start piddling around. Oh, phone. Yep, I'm back. So, anyway, this project is still ongoing. The idea is, I'm not going to mount it out using this whole thing, so I'm just going to cut it off back here. I'll have a nice piece of steel that I can use for something else, and I'll probably make a little bar that screws in here. This is threaded up in here. I'll probably make an extension bar so that it'll reach, and I'll cut a hole here. And it'll be my little press that I can use for small stuff. I'm probably eventually just going to have to break down and get one of those big old Harbor Freight frame jobs. But this was, it was something to play with. What else am I going to do? Oh, one last thing on this. I should have mentioned, here's the little anvil that was made for it. And so what my buddy was figuring, well, he said that it was an alternator shop that had this rig. And so you can see what they did. You know, you made it so you could mount the spindle in here. And I don't know anything about rebuilding them, but I guess, I mean, I can certainly see, you know, the size being appropriate for that with this setup like this. And then this anvil right here went down in through there. So it was special purpose setup modified. And I'm going to try to make it a little more general purpose. Just wanted to add that little bit. Okay, so here's kind of a big deal for me that I just finally broke down and got. These are prescription. I've been messing around for years with trying to put these over regular glasses, or you know, of course sometimes I use a full face shield, and I just broke down finally and went, cost me 120 bucks to get a set, and I wear bifocals now. I'm getting old, but I figure that could honestly save an eye or two, because, you know, even though I try to be really good, what happens is when I'm wearing my other glasses, my other, you know, bifocals, I often would find myself looking underneath of them. And that's a really bad habit to get into. They're not protecting you then. So with these being the bifocals and being pretty much wraparound, they don't give me that option, and so I'm pretty much constantly protected. And you know, I hope to keep my eyes from now on. You know, I grew up down the street from a machinist who was blind, an ex-machinist, and the sad thing was, he didn't lose both eyes at once. He lost one eye, and then, you know, I don't know what operation he was doing, but some years down the road, he lost the other eye, and now he's blind. So I take it pretty seriously. So here's a deal where I got a little snookered. I think I'm just a sucker sometimes for, you know, this was on Craigslist. I'd been watching it for a few months. The guy started off wanting $100 for it, and what I took as a real, you know, kind of red flag was it said freshly painted, which, yeah, it turned out to be exactly as it is. You know, if I'm going to paint something, man, I strip it down. I'll show you. I have a Craftsman version of this. These are knockoffs or you know, different branded versions of the what Kennedy sells as the 520. Keith Fenner's talking about, you know, a Kennedy version of this is being, you know, used for the next What's in Your Box giveaway. And they're good. I was actually looking on the web and brand new, you know, made in America, Kennedy, one of these, is on sale at one of the websites for $220 shipped right now. I think that's actually a pretty good deal. Anyway, so my Craftsman that I have like this, which I got, it was a basket case, it was all rusty, you know, I had to strip it all down, repaint and everything, but I did it right. You know, it only cost me 25 bucks to buy. I put a lot of labor into it, but I did it right. This one, the guy had it for 80, and let's see, I don't know how much of this you can see, but it has been, focus this bad boy. You know, it's in areas it was painted right over the rust, and you can tell it didn't even clean these. You know, I mean, to be fair, I haven't figured out how to detach this yet. Whereas the Craftsman one that I have has a different mechanism, and it's pretty easy to detach. I don't know how to get this one off, but I will, and I will clean these. But basically, I mean, you know, it just wasn't done right. So I mean, it's not like what I would consider a restored box. It's basically where somebody took one that was about the condition of my Craftsman that I paid $25 for, and taped off the locks and threw some Rust-Oleum, you know, whatever on it. But it was an old dude, and you could tell, basically from his house and all, he needed the money. So I just, you know, I'm a sucker. And it is a good box. I mean, this is a Union steel chest. Union Corp, Leroy, New York. So I'm not even familiar with that brand, but yeah, it's you know, I wouldn't doubt that they shared some of the same patterns, or you know, same factory maybe made some of these things and they just put different badges on them. I don't know, but it seems very, very similar to the Craftsman I have, and of course these are all same drawer pattern and all. Is that Kennedy 520. And I've got my Craftsman, you know, chock full. And my idea, you know, I was trying to keep my eye out for this style, if I could pick a few up and not spend too much. You know, I just have some clutter thrown into them right now. But my idea is that like this one would become my my tap and die one. You know, instead of buying those little Hewitt boxes or whatever, which you know, they're cool, but they're, you know, if you could get one like this, you know, it seems like it'd be more versatile. So that's kind of my plan going down the road, is, you know, pick up a few of these. One will be tap and die, maybe one will be drills, and one will be reamers, and that kind of thing. So one where I probably paid a little too much, but hey, he was a Vietnam vet, old dude. I'm not gonna cry about it. All right, so I was very excited to find out that we have another scrapyard in town. And something I'd been looking for a lot at the other one that I've been going to is brass, and they never had any. So this place had this nice hunk of brass, and they actually had a couple. They had one that I'm going to guess was 2-inch diameter, and you know, about this long, and one, yeah, I'd say probably a 3-inch diameter. But they're selling it at $3 a pound, so you know, I didn't have that much money in my pocket. You would talk about like $100 or something for. But still, anyway, these are bronze, and I got these. I had something in mind that they may not be useful for. I'll show some pictures later. I've got a sailboat that's got some issues going on right now. I was thinking this bronze might come in handy for that. It could come in handy for something else, though. You know, definitely good to have. And then this aluminum in this thickness I bought for, well, just because I always, you know, if I find a nice little scrap of tooling aluminum, I'm going to probably pick it up. But that thickness turned out perfect for making some soft jaws. Is that in focus? Let's see. Yeah. So that's something I'm going to go around and be doing for probably all my vices. I don't know. Maybe it would be good to have one of them still with the hard jaws. But, you know, these came out okay. I'll tell you, they don't fit perfectly. And I'm thinking in retrospect, probably the better way to have done this, rather than machine them to size and then bolt them in, would have been to have left some overlap, you know, done the whole pattern correctly, left some overlap, and then just put this in the mill and flushed them up. I'm thinking that's something on that order, or filed them, whatever, is what's done. Like if you look at this old Craftsman right here, I think that's what was done on it. You know, it was machined after the jaw was put in. So that might be the better way to go about it in the future. this Craftsman is older, I think, than that Wilton right there, and it feels better. But at least now I have at least one vise with soft jaws, and my next project is soft jaws. This is something, you know, my dad had, so I've had it kicking around for a long time. And of course, it took a lot of abuse, you can see. So my idea is going to be to, I'm going to take this off of the swivel mount. I'll probably clean it and paint the whole thing, so it'll be all good. You know, put the soft jaws in there, but I think I'm just going to leave this part separate from the swivel, the tilt base. My idea being that this right here, if I want to drill something at an angle, it'll be great. You know, I can tighten it in here and then put this in my vise on the mill, and that'll actually, I'll have more confidence in that arrangement holding it at an angle than this, you know, relatively flimsy thing here. So that's my plan. So that'll be my next little soft jaw project. I'll show you that when I get done with it. And like I said, I might this time what I'll do is I'll make the plates oversize just a hair, and then come back and file or mill, or some combination of filing and milling, and that's the way I'll make them fit well. Oh, one last thing about the brass. One reason I've been looking for brass is, you know, I want to be able to make a shop hammer, and you know, so you can use a little piece for that. I don't know if I'll make anything as quite as involved as that, as Ray's, what does he call it? The multi-use shop hammer. I mean, that thing's a work of art. Quite a lot of machining goes into that, but just so happens that at the same scrapyard, this was kicking around. It was in a chuck in a wood lathe, and the guy said, you know, oh, you like that? Yeah, take it, do whatever. Because I've never worked with this before. I don't even know how much this stuff costs. But so, like, if you were going to make something like Ray's hammer, where it has a Delrin on one end, you just, I mean, for any hammer, you could basically make different tips that would go in. And here's, you know, one side, and here's another side. It could be awesome. So that was kind of a score too. So here is kind of the big find at the scrapyard. Is it all in there? Yeah. It's a Craftsman 618. It is the, which way does this go? This way. It's the little brother to the, I have a Craftsman 10-inch, or Atlas 10-inch, same company. But this was $50, and this is going to keep me busy for a little while. I posted this on Facebook, you know, saying I'm, you know, wondering, do I want another project, or do I want to just pass this along to somebody? I mean, I certainly didn't want it to go get scrapped. I'm leaning really towards fixing it up and at least playing with it. And here's a real possibility. I might end up selling my 10-inch. Well, I mean, I know I'm going to sell my 10-inch one because I want to upgrade. I want to get something with change gears. I'm actually looking at a Logan. So the 10-inch one's going to go. Maybe this one I'll keep. And, you know, it won't take up too much space. I only have a half of a 2-car garage to work with right now. So space is a premium. But this thing is, you know, I don't know. These Craftsman Atlas, you love them or you hate them. There's I think like the Practical Machinist Forum, they won't even let you, if you say Atlas or Craftsman, you're banned permanently or something. I don't know. But a lot of people love them. I've certainly learned a lot on my Atlas lathe, my 10-inch one. So I'm not prejudiced against them, and we'll see how this goes. And I bought for some of the smaller parts. I'm going to try a bath of this stuff. I saw. Oh, daggone it! My memory's failing me right now. One of the other YouTubers was using this stuff instead of the Evaporust. I've got another container like this size of the Evaporust also, so maybe I'll do a compare. And the last thing I might do is once again try to get electrolysis working. I failed last time. Something in my rig wasn't right, but I'll tell you, I'm not going to fill a vat with it would take me 2 or 3 gallons of this stuff, and they're both about priced the same, about 25 bucks a gallon. This is like $5. There's no bulk savings. It turns out to be 21 cents a gallon in this size, or 18 cents a gallon if you get the gallon. So I'm like, I'm just experimenting. $5, I'm good. Anyway, yeah. So in order for me to put this in a vat of Evaporust, it would cost me as much as this thing cost me. So that just doesn't seem effective. I'm going to probably, like I said, go back down the electrolysis route. If it turns out I need to do anything more than just mechanical means with some oil and whatnot. But I want to show it exactly as it is right now. I'm going to take this show off of the tripod and just give you a good survey of it. All right, here we go. Let me figure out whether this thing will even focus on the fly. All right, so one thing, an issue that is ongoing. Let me find it. There it is. Yeah, somewhere in its life at the scrapyard, it got thrown around, and this got, the teeth here were damaged. So I'm not sure whether that would run at all with that cleaned. It might run. Yeah, I could probably. Yeah, I'll probably make that the last thing I do. So for the time being, I can clean this and basically pop that one out of there, and it doesn't look like it would hurt anything to just run it. But eventually, I'm going to want to acquire a replacement for that. It's missing. There is a case that goes across the side here, so that's gone. This case, it was popped out and hanging out sideways, and that somewhere along the line this thing got stressed. So I don't know if you can see this down inside there. That slack's not supposed to be there. This arm is actually bent off to the side, and I don't know how serious I'm going to get about trying to put that back right. This stuff makes me nervous that we would break it. I'm not sure what kind of material this is, whether it's aluminum or just that pot metal. But anyway, if you got any tips on bending that, or comes with a 3-jaw. I might have a 4-jaw that goes on this. I have a 4-jaw that does not fit my 10-inch, and I'm really keeping my fingers crossed. If it matches this, I'm going to be like happy. So that's good. It's missing. I don't know whether this will end up being salvageable, but at least it's free. Free as in moves. It's missing the spindle lock. This does not turn right now. I'm not going to try to force it. Carriage assembly seems complete. It's even got the little chip guard, which didn't even come with my Atlas 10-inch. I had to buy that off eBay. So that's pretty cool. Broken handle here. Broken handle here. The threads on the threading the carriage drive shaft actually look better on this little goober than they do on my 10-inch. So I got some high hopes that, you know, I could actually do some threading on this. That mechanism actually seems to be running well. So anyway, I'm anxious to start, you know, trying to lube this thing down and free it up and get to playing with it. But I wanted to document it as is. I think it's pretty darn complete. And so I'll show you my, this is the big brother over here. This is my 10-inch that I've, it's my first ever lathe. That's what I've been learning on. So this is the piece that is missing this cover from the little one. But everything else, you know, it's really, it's very much like that little 618. It's just a scaled down version of this guy. Same drive belt mechanism. You can see how it works with the motor. Flat ways, which some people, this is one of those criticisms people make of the Atlas Craftsman line. My eBay chip guard, very similar. I have hopes that my old lantern style tool post that this came with will, you know, fit, be basically the same, the appropriate size for the little 618 jobber there. Only real difference in the tailstock between here and there is this one has the little white lead holder for the, you know, the old-fashioned lubricant they would use with the dead center when it was in here. This is not my doing, but, you know, hey, shame on me, I haven't come up with something better. But yeah, that's what I've had now for like 2 years. That's what I've been learning on, and it's been a good little lathe. So you can see I'm kind of excited about this little guy. Alright, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Quick update. This stuff right here, citrus based, I like it. That's all I've done to this so far. Just gave it a cleaning and hit it down. Sprayed it with the hose and then dried it with compressed air. And now I got to get some liquid wrench in there. Not bad. Alright, I guess I'm super impatient. You know, the intention was to spray this down and leave it sitting overnight. You know, PB blaster. Meant to pick up some liquid wrench. I read a study recently that said that was the next best thing to Croyle, and the difference was minuscule. This came in a weak third, I think. WD-40, I don't even know if it made the list. That stuff's just tarted up kerosene, really, so I don't use that. But anyway, so yeah, I just doused the heck out of this thing, and lo and behold, the I don't have a real key for this, but the jaws are moving, so that's happy, happy, joy, joy. Spindle is turning pretty freely. Gotta figure out how to get this. I don't know what is holding it. That'll be the next step. But progress. I need to try popping that bad boy. I wonder if it's the same size as my 10. Let's see. Yes, it is. Looky there. This is after about, I'd say 20 minutes of sitting with the PB blaster on it. So that's pretty good, really. A little problem getting in there. There we go. Okay. Alright, I'll let it sit some more. I do not want to break anything, so I'm just get it to move whatever will move. Exercising it. There we go. Yeah, alright, that's coming out. And we can get this right here to move. This is the little lock. I was thinking about this. This actually could sit on my mill table, and using the little lock pin back here, this could be like an indexer. An indexing head for the mill. Right there. Pretty awesome. Anyway, full update. Okay, a little moment of truth here. I didn't break out a big wrench because I don't want a ton of force, but I am going to give this a try just to see if it'll come off. I got my little spindle lock on over here. Oh baby, yes. Oh. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Okay, now my little forge jaw that's been kicking around for 2 or 3 years with no home, and I don't have a forge jaw for the 10-inch. Oh, I don't know, maybe not, maybe. Oh yeah. Oh, Daddy got a forge jaw.